They say the family of the 21st century is made up of friends, not relatives. If that's true, Nona is the best auntie I've ever had. I am that King Guy, and today on Told Zone presents, we find out who's on drugs. We don't find out what happened at the wedding, but we will watch Heather Graham's Chosen Family.
You have terrible taste in boyfriends. No more basket cases.
Yes, please.
Hi, I'm Steve.
Is he single? Because I like this.
I think you're the most beautiful yoga teacher in all of Rhode Island.
We went on a date.
And?
Is this how you seduce women?
Is it working?
You are your sister's keeper.
She's almost 40.
40 is the new 30. Marry that nice guy from my church group. He's a virgin.
That's weird you know that.
I think his daughter might hate me.
What do you want, Lily?
You gone.
This kid is gonna grow up to be a straight up axe murderer.
She's plotting to get rid of you.
You sleep in the same bed with Anne? Ugh.
Just continuing to eat my cake. Because I ate like half of it and then didn't eat the other half. Just as we go into the next episode. I've been sat here for 2 weeks.
Hello again, Nona. It's been about 2 weeks.
I've not moved. Don't ask me what I did 2 weeks ago. I couldn't tell you.
Ate some cake.
Still eating cake.
Well, we did that Lohan thing. That went over well.
I hope so. Love Lindsay Lohan.
Yeah, up to like a couple of hundred views. Didn't get any comments about it either.
No one commenting about us waffling at the beginning.
No snotty comments about that. Nah. So we're here today to cover Heather Graham's second attempt at writing, directing and singing the theme tune to her own film. That last part might have been a lie. Her first being 2018's Half Magic. I was going to say she hasn't been much of late, but there's like 7 credits for 2023 on her IMDB for her. So she's been busy, including Suitable Flesh, which I've heard is pretty good. Bet you heard of that one. Lovecraft horror adaptation written by Dennis Powley, who previously did Reanimator and From Beyond. I think that's the only film I actually know she's been in recently.
No, but I will definitely take a look at it.
I have a copy of it, but it's Region 1, which is really annoying.
I mean, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Sorry, Heather.
So I sent this one over to you and you said there's like so many names in it you recognise.
Yeah, which is what's really weird about it. Thomas Lennon, recognise. Julia Stiles, recognise.
Thomas Lennon, what has he been in?
I'm literally looking at it now because I'm 17 again. He played the friend. I knew I recognised him. I kept looking at him thinking I recognise you and I can't think why. So he played the friend of Matthew Perry's character Mike, who eventually has a relationship with the head teacher of the school. He was so good in that, actually. He was very funny.
Yeah, you look at everybody and I know them from somewhere, and then you look them up and go, oh, right, yeah, that one. That person.
Yeah, pretty much.
Julia Stiles is probably the best known out of them. Yeah.
I would say so, other than obviously Heather Graham herself, because I do think obviously she is known. You know, I can't pretend that people don't know who she is. It's just maybe not necessarily for movies anyone really cares for so much.
Especially recently, Jesus, man, she's been in a lot.
She has.
But yeah, synopsis for this film. Yoga teacher Anne is trying to find inner peace despite having a manic... I'll try that again. Yoga teacher Anne is trying to find inner peace despite having a manic family, a miserable dating life, and an inability to say the synopsis of this fucking film right. Take 3.
Take a million.
Yoga teacher Anne is trying to find inner peace despite having a manic family, a miserable dating life, and an inability to say no that keeps her busy trying to fix everyone else's problems. The problem being putting commas in that fucking synopsis. Chosen Family will be available on digital download from 21st of April. Putting commas in the synopsis is the least of this film's problems.
Truth.
The film, it starts off with a narration which pretty much boils down the entire film. She hates her family, and her choices in boyfriends aren't great. Also, her sister is a drug addict. Got that right? Her sister is a drug addict. You must know that.
Yeah, you have to know that part.
Yeah, it's kind of important. And then one of many, 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 many drone shots kicks in. You find out her mum and dad hate her, and she's living in sin with a guy, or was living in sin with a guy, but they love her sister, who's a drug addict. Her friends are the perfect friends who also build her up and build upon the idea that she has terrible taste in men, you know, talking about more of the things about her boyfriends, which she mentioned in the intro about her shit boyfriends. Pretty simple film, really, isn't it?
Yeah, and if you've forgotten already, just so you're aware, her sister takes drugs. And if you've forgotten, just so you're aware, you will be told about it several times. Just so you're reminded that her sister takes drugs.
Her sister, who is played by Julia Stiles, called Clio, takes drugs.
Do you know what else I realised as I was looking through the cast? Andrea Savage, if I remember correctly, she played the therapist in Step Brothers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she was the therapist. See, this is why, like, I've been looking at the faces and I did recognise a few. Some of them I think are probably new people or people who haven't really had massive films or look very similar to other people. I won't lie. But some of them have had pretty decent movie credits. They just didn't necessarily have humongous parts.
I mean, Michael Gross, who's her dad, is the survivalist in every one of the Tremors films.
Yes, he is, yeah.
Yeah. Her dad, who says she's living in sin. And you must remember she's living in sin, according to her dad.
Yeah, you can't forget that. Do you know what else you can't forget? To look at her mum's YouTube videos.
Yeah. And the other thing of her sister
Yeah.
is a drug addict.
Yeah, you can't forget that. Do you know what else that comes up that you will forget?
Go on.
Why she's a drug addict.
Oh, yeah, why she's a drug addict.
Do we know why she's a drug addict? No.
Not yet, no. I think we get up to that point, yeah, but...
Well, no, the thing is that we don't actually ever find out. We just know that something happened that meant she turned to drugs. And unless Heather Graham plans on making a sequel so that we can find out, this is literally going to be the biggest kept secret of a movie that has told me so many times that Julia Stiles, who plays Clio, who is Heather Graham and sister, is a drug addict.
Yes, she's a drug addict. Anyway, her friends decided to set her up with a hot guy who she meets in the next scene. She goes on a date with him, he gives her a foot massage, and she acts like he's feeding her tiramisu with a long spoon while doing other things to her.
That's not the face of someone with tiramisu. Like, I'm being very honest. I've never felt more awkward in my whole entire life. I was watching it with my partner because I was like, I'm not going through this hell alone. And I genuinely felt awkward. I felt like I was intruding. And all she was like, I'm sat there thinking to myself, like, what are you doing wrong that I don't look like that when I get my feet massaged? Like, what is going on there?
She had the face of the guy in the room who's eating chocolate.
She reminded me of a Herbal Essence advert. That's what she reminded me of. I like genuinely, I remember those adverts when they were a little bit too much, and I was just like, I should leave. I'm so sorry.
Oh, but remember, this date gets broken up because, you know, remember her sister, who's the drug addict.
Yeah.
They have to pick her up from taking drugs down the drug alley.
Yes, because there is an alley where it's only designated for drug addicts.
And it's really gritty and dark and dingy and the sun isn't out at all.
Yeah, you could probably find it like anywhere that leads to a subway, to be honest.
And the first of many F-bombs dropped by her sister, who's a drug addict.
Yeah, because she's a drug addict. She doesn't give a fuck.
I don't know if people are getting the hint that this isn't a great film.
I I think I made the remark to you that I save more time during daylight savings. Like genuinely, like, this film was torture.
Yeah, I
Like
usually don't like sort of hitting punching down on indie films, but this is it's kind of different because it's a big name star doing it, and it feels
yeah.
like a vanity project because she is writer, director, acting, and singing the theme tune,
Well, I
doing
felt
everything.
like I was watching somebody who was doing their GCSEs and was trying to throw in as many topics as they could without any real build up or substance. And it's a shame, right? Because in terms of the acting wasn't bad. I'm not going to pretend it was bad. Like her mum was hilarious. That those parts did make me laugh because they were all really well played. It was just there was no story like properly to it. There was just it literally went from like speed run of somebody going, my life shit. Oh no, now my life isn't so shit. Oh, my life is shit again. Do you know what? Fuck you all. End of film.
But yeah, it feels so disconnected in some scenes with Anne and Clio when they're talking. Mostly those two,
Yeah.
they're having a conversation, and then it feels like they're saying two different things. It's like a cut and paste conversation, just random things being said, and you're like, "Fuck, I love bread."
Yeah.
That whole scene was like, I don't know what where you're going with this conversation, and then what happened at the wedding. But anyway, um,
Nothing. We don't know what happened at the wedding. We still don't know.
so I did watch this with my partner Jane, and I mean, we watched a film previously, and she enjoyed that one. So she's kind of open to watching these films. She's like, she thought they were all rubbish, and I don't think she's going to watch any with me again. So her question was, quite early into the film, was like, what ages are they playing?
Yeah.
Because they both look like they're playing younger people, not necessarily teenagers. Doesn't help they're dressed like teenagers most of the time, but there's like it doesn't really fit with the characters,
Yeah.
the drama.
Yeah. Especially when so Julie Stiles is 43.
Yeah,
Um,
and they say she's coming up on 40. So she's playing a little bit younger.
Heather Graham is 55.
And then the other thing is like when Jane to the thing of like, who's that? Who's that? 'Cause she's got constantly asking, who's, I don't know, that guy from something, and what's the answer there? And then it's like, oh, so how old is Heather Graham? And I'm like, oh, she's probably the same age as me. No, she's 10 years on me. Looks good for it, but
Yeah, it's a film that it's not the, and here's my issue, right? I don't want to ever tell someone that they need to act their age, particularly women, because absolutely, like, you can go and do whatever you want and live a whatever lifestyle you want at any age. But I don't know if it was because there was no real substance and no real storyline. That's why it didn't make sense and why you couldn't pinpoint how old these people were.
yeah, because at the start, Mom says like, don't get married and don't have kids. So I'm thinking she's playing slightly younger, maybe 30-ish. Like the
Yeah.
character's supposed to be that age. But then if her
Yeah.
younger sister's coming up on 40, it's like, well, there's a lot of history with his family, and how haven't you fucked them off before?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's one of those. It's hard because, like, again, I never want to like shit on how somebody would go about getting rid of things. It can take a long time to get rid of people that maybe aren't doing you so good. But I think because there was no build up, no real like even when we found out the reason why her sister took drugs, that
I
was
know.
like what, half an hour towards the end of the movie? I've spent a whole hour having to understand what the hell is going on and not really getting anywhere in terms of like, well, why is your life so shit, Heather?
I mean, she has like a great beach house. She has some great friends.
Yeah,
She's a decent job because she's got a great house.
yeah, but she runs her own like yoga. She's a yoga instructor, but she runs all of her own like sessions, I guess, fitness sessions.
Although it only really does Warrior 2.
Yeah, in fairness.
But yeah, there's other things introduced into it, like you've got her shooting a vlog for advertising the yoga place, which she does, and it's embarrassing, and she ends up ripping into a family during it as like an outtake, but then that accidentally gets uploaded, which we all know is uploaded at the end of it because you hear the whooshing sound. And then the more drama with the new guy in her life's daughter who turns out to be a psychopath.
That is what I wish they'd played into with this film. That's what I wish they'd played into more with this film. Because had they have done, it might have actually been an okay film. We didn't need to know about all the problems with the family. If she'd have pinpointed she has problems with dating, she meets a perfect guy. That guy has a daughter who is an actual nightmare. And the whole movie had centered around that and her eventually being like, either we're going to date or I'm going to choose myself. It would have worked. But there were too many things that I think felt too unbelievable for her to have problems with.
Yeah, and the kid, it wasn't psychopath in a funny way. This is supposed to be a rom-com,
Yeah.
and it was just awkward and annoying. And if that was what you were going for, it should have been more like darker.
Yeah, like this should have been a Damien child.
Yeah, but the scenes they've got with the kid is, I'm guessing they're aiming at funny when they're doing the sexy dancing.
But it wasn't funny.
No, it made me cover my eyes because I'm like, oh, no. It's just so bad.
It was just awkward. I did the moment that I saw the first infringement on what I would have considered had I been dating that man. You need to get your shit together. I'd have left, so that film would have been over in about 20 minutes.
Yeah, I was going to ask actually, how long would you stay with a person if they had a kid that was like that?
It would never have happened. If I'd have met a child and they were like that and their dad just kept making excuses, I'd be like, yeah, no, bye. I think I said that as well, actually, to my partner. I was like, could you, like, obviously I have children. He's involved, around my children. He's met my children, all that kind of stuff. But had my children acted that way towards him, there'd have been trouble. There'd have been trouble.
Yeah, it's just the first time you meet the kid. She's not annoying. She's just quiet, and the next time you meet her, she's suddenly this psycho or a bit possessive.
No, she was a little bit the first time because she initially was like, I don't want you to go anywhere, and then suddenly had a change of heart because she got a present, and then gave.
Now, the first time you meet her is when Steve. It's a really boring name. Yeah, Steve. Yeah, he turns up with the kid, and they're all like standing around. And you just sort of introduce her, and that's it. And the second time you meet her,
car.
Yeah, the second time you meet her, that's when she goes, "No, I don't go anywhere," and "No, Daddy."
Shows you how much I actually listened to that film as well, because I clocked out so early. I watched it because I had to.
I watched it twice.
Yeah, no person should be put through that. I'm sorry, Heather. Like, I know you're probably never going to hear this, right? And it's hard because she is a very funny woman. It just was not good. It was not good.
Yeah, I think I have to do that spoiler zone at the end of this. But the ending is predictable but not satisfying. Because I can relate to the concept of like not liking your family and being given shit when your siblings kind of fuck up and get away with it. It's just not dark enough or angry enough or funny.
And it's abrupt.
Tech stuff, sound design, I don't know if you notice this, but it is rough. Like, you can hear the audio clipping in a lot of places where they're suppressing the additional background sound when they're outside.
I'm not sure if I noticed that, but again, I come with my own filter.
It has like an echo in one bit where it's picking up two mics. It like the audio snaps between shots, like when like an establishing shot and they go in for a close up, the sound goes different. I know it's like a technical term, but I can't remember what it was. And there's also a bit where the mic is hit. I think they got a lavalier mic in, and he hits it, so you hear this sound.
Oh, okay.
And that's not even going to the over the credits, the end credit scenes where they have music playing in the room with them, and the credit music playing over that.
Yeah, I think I turned it off as soon as it ended.
You'd have had the joy of like a minute and a half at the end of the film, which is complete silence, which the credits are going up. And it's like, this is not right. Did someone forget to put the music in? And yeah, visually all over the place. A couple of well-filmed bits. Most part it's flat. There's lots of drone shots, which people need to stop. There's a zoom call, which is really confusing. But the biggest thing in it, which made me laugh out loud, was when they're having like a discussion outside after the games night. The camera gets hit during one shot. They didn't bother doing another take. See the camera visibly bump, and I'm like, you didn't want to do another take of that? No, okay, cool.
She's working on a budget. I will say that's, I stand somebody who has got a budget and a time limit.
Digital film doesn't, cost a lot.
Yeah.
Things that are good.
The acting's good. That's the one thing I can't sort of say anything against. In terms of what the material they had, it was good. They played it well. Like, I can't say anything against that. Julie, who played Dorothy, Julia Halston, I think that's how you say her name, who played Dorothy, which was Anne's mom. Hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. The YouTube videos that she makes, really, really funny. Really funny. That she was probably my favorite part. Max had a few, Thomas Lennon had a few lines that were, gone. But he's a naturally funny man, so.
Her yoga boss.
Yes.
I don't think they mentioned the name, but yeah, I think it's Stacey Sargent. I think she was the best thing in it.
That was her character's name, Sarah.
Don't fuck up my
she
calm.
was good.
Namaste.
Yeah, she was also very, very funny. Like, I think this is the thing. Like, the people that were in it and the acting was good. It just wasn't a good film. It wasn't a good film.
I kind of feel it would work better as a quirky comedy. Maybe shot like Wes Anderson. Something a bit like that, where it's awkward on purpose.
They should have just let Tommy Wiseau in. It'd have been an absolute smash hit.
That's my last line, actually. I think this is the best of the worst movie. It's genuinely so cringely badly made and tonally messed up, which is the biggest issue. It's just tonally so wrong. Because, the wedding. I think it's something you can watch with friends and just have a laugh with. Because it is one of those you can just pick apart. Which isn't what people want to hear about the movie, but...
Yeah.
It means people watch your movie.
Yeah. I don't sometimes wonder if people are making bad movies on purpose.
Yeah, but this isn't Sharknado. This isn't the Asylum films where they're making something bad on purpose. This is something that earnestly people have gone into to make good.
Have they, though?
I think they have, and that's why it's so funny.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure at the end of it, Jane was like, that was fucking awful, but then we talked about it for ages afterwards, and the next day it come up again, which for a lot of films, that doesn't happen. Like bad films. And bad films are the ones you don't remember. Like films you don't remember the name of.
I'm terrible with my memory, so admittedly, like some of my favorite films, I probably couldn't tell you the name of.
But yeah, you'd remember this film.
Yeah, not, but against my own will. Like, I think that's the thing of it. Like, I'm going to recall this film against my own will. And I think that's what's going to feel really sad. Like, it's hard because there is nobody on this planet who wants women to be able to create their own art more than me. But if this is what they're making, please help.
And with that, we'll head to the spoiler zone. But before that, where can we find you online?
Blue Sky on Nona Goth. With two
Goth.
Fs.
Two Fs.
Yeah.
Because
I'm British, you bottle water.
and head over to talkcartzone.com for all my stuff. Go to the website and add me on whatever social medias I am still using, like the heroin and crack they are. Send me a message on them or through the email. Tell me about films you think are so bad they're good. Send me emails also about the worst film you've ever seen. Still looking for those ones. Also, films that you have seen that you don't think anyone else has. You know, cult classics, forgotten gems, things that no one else is covering. I'm all for. Send them to me. Love them all.
All of it.
You might find out what happens at the wedding if you stick with us for the big twist.
Oh, you may end up on drugs.
Join us in 10 seconds.
Oh, is this just music filler right now? Are you going to make sure you put it in, unlike in the Heather Graham film, Chosen Family, where they forgot?
I might play some music in the background of this bit, so we have music playing and music playing on the outro as well.
Are we doing spoilers though now?
Yeah, okay, so spoiler zone time. If you want to check out the film, I do put it down as the best of the worst movie. I would say you need to watch it with people who are knowingly going in to watch a bad film. And the pivotal moment in the film, I think, story-wise, which could have been the ultimate crux of the family relationship, why the parents abide the drug use and put upon Anne so much, is what happened at the wedding. So
what did happen at the wedding? What did happen at the wedding? Literally, we both said it. No one knows. She was 10 years old. That's all that we do know. And her sister went outside with a man. That's all we know. I mean, I can fill in the gaps, but at the same time, this appears half an hour towards the end of the movie, and it's quite half an hour. It's honestly, it's quite late on, isn't it? Like, yeah. And it's such a key part of why I think her parents are the way that they are. Yeah, I think it's a key part of everything.
Yeah, and if that's the big twist in the film where you find out why the family are the way they are, the film should have been a lot darker.
Yeah.
Because that's
a really dark thing.
You can't get away with that in a comedy. As it is, it's going back to the room. It's she has cancer. I had breast cancer. Oh yeah, you'll have curing that all the time. It's that level of flippancy about a serious subject.
It's flippancy as well because they literally talk about it in a park.
Yeah, and then she mentioned it on the phone, and then it's forgotten.
Yeah, it's never mentioned again.
Until the end, it's like, it's not my fault. Which, yeah, no, she was 10 years old. It wasn't her fault.
No, and I agree with that part. But then I also don't know entirely what I'm supposed to be sat believing.
Yeah, because if she's coming up on 40, there's been 30 years in the meantime.
Yeah.
Where she's been on drugs. Did she mention she was on drugs?
I don't think we mentioned it. Just so that everyone is aware. Clio who's played by Julia Stiles, is on drugs.
Yeah. So that's the big spoiler.
I don't know what other spoilers there really are, other than the really awkward sex scenes that appear throughout. Because obviously the foot massage isn't the only one that I genuinely sat there and thought, you just wanted to get your hands on him. Because that's how it felt. It's very awkward.
Is she hiring younger actors to touch her?
I mean, I don't even know what was happening or how it added any value. It literally is The Room, but with people who have been in movies before. Because that had equally as many awkward sex scenes where I sat there and was like, what is happening? Why is this going on in front of me right now? Really? In front of my breakfast cake?
Having at 8 o'clock at night.
I can't believe how angry I've gotten. Just sat here like so annoyed.
So yeah, that was a spoiler.
It wasn't really a spoiler.
Clio, who's on drugs, went out with the side of the wedding with a friend of the family that they trusted, and she's on drugs.
Just so everyone is aware.
She's on drugs.
She's on drugs.
Drugs are bad.
And if you don't know, you can find drugs apparently in certain walkways with graffiti and various other drug stereotypes.
Leather jackets.
Yeah. Because we're no longer wearing leather jackets because we're part of Greece and we're Danny Zuko. No, we're wearing them because we do drugs. And if you also do drugs, apparently you really like bread.
Fuck, I love bread.
That is still, I mean, I'm not going to lie, right? That is sometimes an internal thought that I have. I just don't say it out into the world.